Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I hope you're doing well. You know, we talk a lot about how Trump is harming, is destroying the office of the presidency or the White House in a sort of not literal form. Now he's literally destroying the White House. And there is fewer, better symbols for his presidency than the one that apparently even he's self-conscious about people seeing, which is that destruction. Here's the Daily Beast reporting. You can see that's the before, then the after, as despite, I think there was a promise that it wasn't going to harm anything in the existing White House, that Trump's 90,000 square foot ballroom is requiring a part of the East Wing to be wrecked, bulldozed, which again, I get that people are connected to the history and the architecture and all that. I'm less connected to that. More so the symbolism of Trump's presidency and what he's doing to the White House cerebrally in the non-physical ways. That now we have a physical symbol that resembles exactly what he's doing. And then the why. Why is he doing this construction during a shutdown that apparently he doesn't want people taking photos of and taking videos of? Federal workers were given secret order as Trump tears down part of the White House. They've been ordered not to share photos of the East Wing of the White House being demolished to make way. And here's the why. For the president's $250 million vanity project being that big king-like ballroom. Worthy of a king. I'm not a king, but he wants a ballroom like a king. 90,000 square feet? That's so many square footsies. And so some of these images started being posted, and then workers were instructed not to take photos because I think they even understand that probably while it looks like this, they should do a little effort to hide that from spreading everywhere, because it's a bad look. And again, not because of, the building. Some people do feel that way. I've never known a ton about the history of the East Wing, but it's more so while the government's shut down, apparently this project isn't halted. While he's overseeing one of the greatest redistributions of wealth from the bottom to the top, he's building himself this glamorous, fancy, it's going to be occupied by almost exclusively super wealthy people ballroom. A very let them eat cake type of moments as my earpiece is waging an assault, Jaden, on my ear. Sorry, guys. Jim Shudo also backed up this reporting about the efforts to hide some of the imagery. Staff at the Treasury Department received an email Monday instructing them to refrain from taking photos of the construction happening on the White House's East Wing after images of demolition in preparation for President Trump's new ballroom went viral. That's only going to get more attention around it. People can just take photos from the outside. It's an interesting way to cause people to be even more interested. But Trump's absolutely obsessed with this. Think about that. What would be more apt for Trump's priorities than I want a bougie ballroom whilst people out in America suffer? I want to have $2,000 outfits on as we dance to YMCA, as prices increase because of my tariffs and people lose their health coverage. And currently, as the government shut down because he refuses to negotiate with Democrats. Think about that contrast. So to the Scott Jennings of the world and others who are going, well, they didn't throw a fit when this construction project happened to the White House or that one. Just stop. You know this symbolism is very impactful. And I know that you would have a problem with it if it weren't Trump. Not because of a specific dollar value or a specific building, but because of Trump wanting, like his new Rose Garden party club thing, he's going to be concealed from and party it up as the impacts of his policy harm working class folks who won't be invited to those ballroom parties. Actually, take that down real quick. Another interesting symbolism. The East Wing is quote unquote Melania's. So he's decimating Melania's East Wing. I guess that's where the first lady traditionally works, as if she's going to have a problem with that, as if she's ever working in the White House. Can you imagine her walking into work with a cup of coffee? Let's get down to first lady business. Not so much, but here's Trump always bringing this up at speeches and events, how excited he is for the ballroom, as people can't afford basic necessities, and as he won't negotiate with Democrats to prevent healthcare costs from skyrocketing. While you watch this, please do, if you appreciate the show, click the subscribe button right below the video. Just check to make sure you are if you think you are. It's free, but the simplest way to support this show.
Well, people for the evening, and some of the big foreign leaders have been coming. And most excitingly, on the other side, you see the fence and the wall. We're building a world-class ballroom. You know, for 150 years, they've wanted a ballroom here. We don't have a ballroom. We have a little cocktail area, but we don't have a ballroom. The East Room, it's called, is a very small cocktail area. It holds about 88 people if it's tight. And I said, if I do this again, I'm going to get a ballroom built, and we're putting up our own money. The government is paying for nothing. You probably hear the beautiful sound of construction to the back. You hear that sound? Oh, that's music to my ears. I love that sound. Other people don't like it. I love it, Josh. I think when I hear that sound, it reminds me of money. In this case, it reminds me of lack of money because I'm paying for it, so it's the opposite. But it's going to be one of the most beautiful.
Now, it does appear that someone forgot to put his bronzer on his lips. So right around his lips, it's just pasty white in contrast to his skin or his bronzer. So that's fascinating. Those lips, the way they move like a machine gun. Goodness. He's claiming he's paying for it. We'll see. I doubt that he'll actually end up paying for it, but we'll see. Trump's White House demolition is the perfect symbol of his presidency. There was an op-ed. Yeah, that sums it up right there. And then this is in contrast to Trump's pledge that construction of the $250 million addition wouldn't interfere with the existing historic building. He's acting like there's not ballroom space. There is. There definitely is. There's large events that get held that people, I'm not saying, I don't want to bring it up again, that people that I know and or me have seen and were at, and there were hundreds of people, okay? Then Trump brought it up again, I guess, as he's honoring baseball teams.
You know, we're building right behind us, we're building a ballroom. They've wanted a ballroom for 150 years. And
Who's telling you this?
And I'm giving that honor to this wonderful place. I think we should do it. This was the ballroom, and this room holds 88 people. And the new one will hold 999 people, which is a difference. I say 999 because I didn't want to crack 1,000. I didn't want people to get concerned because that's getting big. But we're going to have, we'll have the most beautiful ballroom in the.
While more people will lose their health coverage than any single law, he's making himself a ballroom. You can't write a story more stark than that. Can ya? Then he was saying this with his hand gestures. Watch this.
So you'll have drinks, cocktails, everything on this floor. And then they'll say, welcome to dinner. You walk into the ballroom.
Someone said he was showing us his Epstein sketch. Is this what he thinks of? You'll have cocktails, big cocktails, great cocktails, voluptuous cocktails.
So you'll have.
Oh, and it's playing again. Then, yeah, like I said, this was for LSU. Now, MAGA was very excited by this. You have Eric Daughtry saying President Trump was just gifted Trump 47 jerseys. These patriots love their president. Okay, well, has Trump ever put on the helmet of a football player? I will personally endorse Trump's ballroom if he'll put on a football helmet and then take it off in front of us. I'll personally, actually, I'll take out the biggest loan in history and help fund this ballroom. If you will put on a helmet, a regulation helmet, tight, and take it off in front of us, I think every last hair on Trump's head would get pulled off. That's my suspicion. And obviously, Trump's doing a lot of renovations. This is... Again, you remember when Biden was on the beach or was on a vacation or was biking, and Fox News would say Biden's biking around or suntanning while Americans are paying high costs at the grocery store, right? Now you have Trump's renovating and making bougie ballrooms while ripping away, him specifically chose to sign into law something that would rip away people's basic government services. One of the other renovations you're seeing there on screen, of course, is Trump's rose garden, which got turned from a rose garden into a 5-car garage sort of imagery, just gray and bleak. But now he has rose garden parties there, and I'll show you some clips from that. I think that I have in a second. Representative Jason Crow said $250 million for his ballroom, $40 billion for Argentina, $172 million for Kristi Noem's 2 private jets, $0 to lower your healthcare premiums. Again, with everything now that's on the table, just factually, that Democrats have at their disposal in terms of messaging, if they can't create a coherent message to concisely characterize Trump as an enemy of the working class, then there's no chance for the party ever. This is the most basic political message ever. The super wealthy guy who spent his whole life being a super wealthy guy, was handed wealth at birth, then told you he was going to solve your problems, and sign into law one of the biggest disgraces for the working class in American history, while he's having Rose Garden or Rose Garage parties and making a ballroom and giving bailouts to Argentina, and then talking about we're going to start buying Argentina's beef because of our struggles in the beef department. Yeah, here's one of the parties. There's Lindsey Graham.
And I think it is an incredible thing to see. I also love seeing those beautiful umbrellas there that remind me of the Mar-a-Lago Club and Trump Bedminster. Those are always the best to see. He's really done a great job with that Rose Garden out there as well.
That's a quote-unquote news channel, guys. That's so interesting. The daughter-in-law of the president is hyping up the renovations of said president during a shutdown that could be solved if Trump would just negotiate with Democrats, but he's refusing to. And what are the demands? Just basic healthcare demands, not to rip away people's healthcare and let their premiums skyrocket. And the Fox News channel is covering the umbrellas. Something about them reminds me of Mar-a-Lago, which is what Trump's trying to recreate, clearly. Then you have Fox saying this.
Yeah, and listen, this Rose Garden Club is something that the president really wanted to do, and he has the music. He plays the music when he has dinner out there. He's the DJ with the with the iPad. He's got the whole thing, and it's an eclectic mix, as you can
It's all over the board. Yeah. Let me tell you,
little Elvis,
REM, Phantom of the Opera, Cats. He's been known to go all over the place with it. He is a big Elvis fan, and
who's watching that and cares even a little bit? Think about the basic needs that people are struggling to fulfill. Who's watching that and cares at all? Think about how much MSNBC would be clowned on if during a Biden shutdown, which never happened during his presidency, while he had just passed something that was really devastating for the working class, if MSNBC was running stories with like Hunter Biden as a guest host, talking about Biden loves what's music that Biden would love? Like, I'm trying to think of something really, really old. I can't think of something. What's a really, really old song?
Beethoven. He's a big
He
Beethoven
really
fan.
loved, but see, people listen to that. Yeah, exactly. I couldn't think of something to be funny. He loves Revolutionary War era war songs. I don't know. And they were and it was Hunter Biden on there, who has this great gig on MSNBC, and he's going, "This is so amazing. It's such great taste in music." Fox would clown, justifiably so, all over in that and say Biden hates the working class. And he wants to booze it up with Hunter and do cocaine in the ballroom with the candlestick. I think of that every time. Professor Mustard, was it Professor Plum in the ballroom with the cocaine? Clue. It's a Clue reference. I'm a board game guy. Guilty. Then this.
Cats. He's been known to go all over the place with it. He is a big Elvis fan, and my favorite, we talked about it on my show last weekend, is whenever you see the superimposed picture of Donald Trump over Elvis's face. He goes back and forth. I think he likens himself to Elvis. Yeah.
But I think that
Later in today's show, I have clips from Russian state TV of them saying that Trump is really easy to manipulate. Horrifying, sad. And I haven't seen on Russian state TV this level of state media. I mean, this is more sycophantic, more propagandistic for Trump than even I've seen from state TV. And maybe these parties in the ballrooms will be the site for Trump to find hookups for his buddies. This is an interesting story. Saw Mehdi Hassan post it. Zateo was reporting on it. And apparently Trump was trying to be the wingman for Russ Vote. Pull up Russ Vote. We won't say anything about it. I just want you to see who we're talking about. By mid-2024, Donald Trump, Project 2025 architect Russ Vote were talking on the phone fairly regularly, despite at that exact time Trump saying he knew nothing about Project 2025. But it often wasn't about policy. Trump, when he had downtime from campaigning and plotting his fascist presidency, appeared preoccupied with getting the recently divorced Vote laid. Trump spoke to Vote, a self-described Christian nationalist who's now one of the president's most hardline enforcers, about the gorgeous and beautiful ladies who roamed Trump's club, Mar-a-Lago, so often that it weirded out some of his advisors, in sources' words. Trump offered to be Vote's wingman. And I'm going to read this verbatim, everyone, be an adult. And Trump spoke crudely of all the pussy that Vote would surely get as the president's favorite bachelor. So maybe this ballroom will help Vote get laid. You're seeing Vote there on screen. Maybe that's a part of what Trump's thinking about. And when he's talking about the cocktail hours, his hand gestures might be indicating where his mind's at. Meanwhile, while Trump's helping out Argentina, but not American farmers, you now have the ag secretary saying, yeah, we might have to start buying Argentinian beef.
What about
or more or something?
Beef from Argentina? Is that a possibility?
Well, the president has mentioned it a couple of times. I think you'll be hearing more about exactly what that looks like. Right now, in America, we consume about 12 million metric tons of beef. 10 million.
Yeah, baby.
Of that we produce here in America, but the 2 million I'm talking about, we've been offshoring, and there's different parts of that. You know what McDonald's.
So I guess this has something to do with beef prices going up so much, so trying to increase the supply, which I thought that we had so much beef, and as Jaden has pulled up, the best beef, the most beautiful beef.
I mean, the European Union won't take chicken from America. They won't take lobsters from America. They hate our beef because our beef is beautiful and theirs is weak.
Yeah. And
Ooh,
so
the deep nuance of Howard Lutnick.
You know what's so funny, Jaden? I had that clip already. I was gonna show the same thing. You beat me to it. So we're out of control already today. This is gonna be a good one. So now they're having to make all these different adjustments, and they're going to help out Argentina another way, which, you know, bless Argentina. I hope they're the best for them. But this is in addition to a bailout and them cutting off all of these different trading relationships because we were going to produce everything ourselves, and then they're realizing that we can't, and making these adjustments, saying we might have to bail out farmers because of the soybean crisis, because of the China stuff. But you won't have to bail them out if you just not have ruined the market. It's a disaster, and I'm getting all flustered. Too many sound bites. No, good, a good amount. I'm loving them. And then you have Trump speaking in front of the Rose Garden Club where Lindsey Graham was at. That's all Lindsey Graham did all of this for, by the way. He never came out. He hid all of his adventures. He lied about his political stances. He sucked up to Trump, all so he could get invited to the Rose Garden Club in 2025. Think about that. A decade of humiliating himself and not being true to himself and saying he loved Trump after saying Trump would destroy the Republican Party and the Republican Party would deserve it. After all of that, he just wanted to be a part of the club, and now literally he gets to sit on a slab of concrete and be a part of the club. Was it worth it, Lindsey? So in front of that crowd, you have Trump speaking.
We're a wealthy country again. Last week, as you know, they found $31 billion. They came to see me. Sir, we found $31 billion. They said, we don't know why. I said, was this a good find or a bad find? It was a good find. It was a plus 31. We're used to finding negative 31s, right, for the last 30 years. I said, check the tariff shelf. Well, those tariffs haven't kicked in. Yes, they did. They kicked in 2 months ago. Check it. He comes back 2 hours later. Sir, you were right. We have an additional 31.
So you can put that on the fake Trump story shelf, to use a term. But he keeps telling this story. He uses different numbers that people come to him, sir, tears pouring down their face, saying, my goodness, we found all this cash, and it was next to the Homan bag of cash, and we found it, and we don't know where it came from. And then Trump says, check the tariff shelf. And they go, oh, yes, it was from tariffs. Which, if that's true, something is very logistically wrong with how the Trump administration's taking in tariffs. If it's like, what the hell? We just have all this tariff money. And then if that is true, why are you saying we can't pay people then through this shutdown? If you're just finding cash coming out of every pore in your body. And then triples, if it's true, why are you giving it to Argentina? While China's making deals with them that harm us. Than this.
Hard for a Republican. It's harder for a Republican. Although now I think we've swapped it. I think it's now harder for a Democrat, because if you see what we've done with the Hispanics, with the black workers and black men, and recently a poll came out with
it did not.
With black men and women were doing so well. You know, they want security. They don't want to have their city destroyed. Women in Chicago, beautiful black women walking around with red MAGA hats, because they don't want to be mugged and shot and everything else.
So every time Trump has been saying this at every single speech and in every single interview, I've been pointing out the fact that something's a little weird about acting gobsmacked that a particular racial and gender group,
beautiful black women walking around.
No, I spoiled it. Sorry. Would support you. But the way that he articulates it, it's as if he's shocked that black women would support him, which, as I said, I'm shocked anyone would support him. But what does it say about you, Trump, that you would be just blown away to see a black woman in a MAGA hat? So then Cole put this together.
Beautiful black women walking around with red MAGA hats. And I see black women wearing a red MAGA hat. Black women with MAGA hats on in Chicago. Beautiful black women walking around with MAGA hats. I said, beautiful black women wearing MAGA caps all over the city. It's the most incredible thing. I love it. Beautiful black women are wearing a MAGA hat last night on television.
Also on the fake stories shelf, but even if it were true, his shock is a whole story in and of itself.